So I want to go through a couple things just talking about HIPAA in general and how it fits in the world of you and your clients. But as you know, HIPAA applies to what are called covered entities, and covered entities run the gamut of providers, insurance companies. But our focus here, and the reason I want to say our focus here is on providing HIPAA compliance services solely for employer-sponsored health plans. We're not talking about getting into the business of working for insurance companies or doctors at this point. We want to be able to provide a suite of HIPAA services for you to be able to give your employers when they're struggling with HIPAA compliance. And this is a slide I often throw up here because HIPAA is a complicated world, but at the end of the day, you're acting as the business associate for your client. So you've got an important role. But I'm not really here today to talk about you being their business associate. I'm here to talk about how you can help them solve their problem. In other words, this isn't talking about what does a business associate need to do, what kind of forms do you need to have. We can help you with that. If you're interested, call us. But this is more about how do you help your clients. And they all sponsor multiple different plans that are subject to HIPAA, and how do you, if you choose to help them. One of the things that's, I think, there's a lot of confusion about, is HIPAA applies to some extent to all employer-sponsored health plans. We often get calls and questions saying, well, my company's not self-funded, so I don't have to worry about HIPAA. It's not that simple. HIPAA, an employer-sponsored plan, fully insured or self-funded, is subject to HIPAA. It's just that there may be varying degrees of compliance responsibility. If you're a small business that runs all fully insured plans and you don't get any individually identifiable PHI, there's not a whole lot of HIPAA to worry about. But even small employers often sponsor a health FSA. That's just a self-funded plan, or they have HRAs, or they have other places that they touch PHI. So don't be, HIPAA really is something that all your employers should be aware of and should be in compliance with. So really, what are employers supposed to do to be in compliance? Well, the bottom line is they're supposed to have written HIPAA privacy and security policies and procedures, showing that they know what they should and shouldn't do with individually identifiable health information. Under these privacy and security policies and procedures, there's a number of specific rules and specific things that they're supposed to have, but the point is any employer that were to be audited by HHS would ask to see their HIPAA privacy policies and security policies and procedures. Another thing that's often completely skipped is employers are supposed to do a security risk assessment. They're supposed to look at where they have electronic PHI and do a risk assessment of what kind of procedures do they have to put in place to protect it. Everybody wants to know about the penalties and what if you don't do HIPAA right. I'm not going to go through this in detail, but the bottom line with HIPAA privacy and security penalties is when HITECH was passed, the entire penalty structure was changed, and in fact the law was changed to have actually be mandatory penalties that CMS has to and HHS has to impose on employers. And HHS just finished its first random HIPAA audit, basically a pilot auditing program. So they audited doctors and hospitals and insurance companies and employers. HIPAA is going to be in the news again, and employers are going to be asking you, is my stuff okay? Have I done what I'm supposed to do?
Now you have a full range of solutions to offer your client, from the full-service approach, where our consultants will do the work for your client to bring them into compliance with the HIPAA rules and regulations, to the self-service web tool that gives the employer all the resources and templates they need to bring themselves into compliance. Contact us today for more information.